Hi guys, and welcome back to Purify Your Purpose. I am so excited for this episode because it is my first time having a guest, and this is a very special guest. This person actually helped me start Purify Aesthetics from the ground up and is my fiance.
Hey, how's it going, you guys? Obviously, thank you for having me. It is awesome to finally be here in front of the camera, kind of get away from behind the scenes and interact a little bit with you. But yeah, as she mentioned, we worked together to start up Purify Aesthetics, and we're here now.
So, we actually started Purify Aesthetics only 6 months after I broke my pelvis with our fourth baby.
Yeah, it was very scary. I remember coming home from the hospital, didn't really know how to react to the situation. You were just in a lot of pain, and the only thing that I can think of was obviously let's go back to the hospital and see if we could find answers to kind of get you to feel a little bit better.
I feel like that was definitely one of the hardest times that we went through as a family.
Yeah.
We had 3 kids already.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 kids in diapers.
Yeah.
And then having a newborn, I actually went through aesthetic school while I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then we had Arya, our youngest, and breaking my pelvis was like a huge setback. But what was that like for you? Because you were our caretaker during that time.
I mean, I think I kind of just went into fight or flight mode and just began to do what any other dad would do in that situation and just take care of family. Luckily we did have a few friends that were able to help us out also during that time. Obviously, I had to work full time while you were getting better and as you were going to school. It was hard, but we were able to make it through kind of that dark period in our relationship, and honestly we're enjoying the fruits of our labor somehow now. Obviously there's still a lot of hard work to put in.
Just to really put into perspective how hard this time was for us. So, my recovery for a broken pelvis, because a lot of people ask, like, how do you even recover from
Yeah.
something like that? We have a 2-story house. So, and then, like I said, this was our fourth baby. So, we had to completely rearrange everything to where we were all living on the first floor,
Hmm.
and I had a walker. Like, I wasn't even able to walk on my own. And he had to actually take the doors off the.
Hinges.
Yeah.
Yeah, in order just to make it easier for her to get around, obviously brought down the mattress, pretty much our whole bedroom from upstairs, and we lived downstairs for the better part of maybe 4 months. It was chaotic, it was a bit hectic, but it definitely brought us together as a family. It made us really appreciate each other a lot more, and
Yeah. I was on a recliner because I
yeah.
had no muscle. Like, your whole pelvic area, you don't realize how much you actually use that area for just daily, like,
Yeah, we
walking.
we
And
didn't know how to really react to that because it's something that, you don't think, oh, you break your pelvis and
yeah.
how often you need it. Like, I mean, just sitting down, it's very important. Obviously, riding bikes, just doing daily activities, climbing ladders or even stairs, going upstairs. It becomes difficult when you lose that mobility, and we just didn't know how to react with all that.
Yeah, like I couldn't even lay in our bed. And when he brought it down here, um, when we were actually in the hospital, they let us know that before
Hmm.
I went home, I was going to need a recliner because I wasn't going to be able to lay in a bed. So
Yeah.
I slept on a recliner for quite some time. And he had to actually give me sponge baths in our kitchen
Hmm.
because our shower is upstairs, and I couldn't even like lift my leg to get in and out of a shower. So it was definitely a hard time during that time, but it didn't stop us. And this is a time that was already very stressful for us, but I was ready to open my own business like I wanted to. I was not going to let my pelvis set me back.
It was one of those situations where, we just kind of not necessarily hit rock bottom, but we were like, what is it that you can do,
Mm-hmm.
because you obviously you felt in a sense the need to go ahead and help me provide as well.
So we actually started Purify from the absolute ground up. We had no savings. We just had a newborn. We had 4 kids, a puppy. Everyone thought that we were actually absolutely insane. You thought I was insane, but you were just so
I mean,
supportive.
you had just finished school, so the next obvious step was getting your own salon suite, and then, yeah, let's start taking in clients and putting your education to use.
Yeah. And so my first salon suite, we went and we toured. It was in
Hmm.
Gilbert,
Yeah.
and I was really comfortable with starting in Gilbert because that's where I was raised most of
Yeah.
my childhood. So being in Gilbert, we went and we looked at this salon suite, and it was actually very small. Do you remember how
It
small?
was super tiny. It was super tiny. I mean, it was kind of perfect for you when just starting off, but yeah, it was super small. It was cute though, and it was in a really nice area.
No, I'm talking about like the when we went, remember we went to go look at
You're
that, so
right.
like the
We
very
saw the
small one.
very first one on the
Yeah, on the
first
first
floor.
floor.
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
first
uh-huh.
floor, and that one
Mhm.
was super tiny. It honestly looked like a janitorial
Yeah.
closet with a sink. We definitely weren't doing that. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, so we went to go look at a salon suite, and it was way too small.
Yeah,
So
super small.
even he like we were kind of trying to be positive about it, but then we asked, we were like, are there any other suites
Yeah.
available? And he was actually the one that was in the beginning not too excited to go to this tour, but then he was the one that was like, do you have any other
Yeah.
suites available?
I mean, because if we're going to obviously invest into a salon suite, we're going to want something that's going to be beneficial, that's going to be big enough for what you're trying to, or what you were at the time trying to add on to it. So something like the size of a janitorial closet was just not going to work. So
Yeah, like I could
obviously.
barely
Hmm.
even fit a bed in that room.
Yeah.
Like I would have been able to fit like a bed, a chair, and that's like really it.
Yeah, I
And
don't even
like
think a chair. But anyways, so we ended up touring this bigger suite. It was on the second floor. It just seemed a little bit more up there,
it had a
to her needs.
window. It had a window, and the window
Hmm.
overlooked a lake.
Yeah,
So, and it was on the second floor, so it had a really pretty view. So, I
the
loved,
vibes were good.
yeah, I loved
Yeah.
it. But it was very small. So, if you have been with me since the beginning of my business,
Shout out you.
I've actually been open for 5 years now. So, if you were at the first location, then you know how small that suite was. So like you would come in, and then I would have to go in first because we couldn't, my client and I couldn't stand
Yeah,
like together. Like it had to be like
I remember
I would
that.
have to come in first and then my client, and like it was like
I
awkward.
remember how hectic it would be when we had all the kids with us, and she just had to go in there to grab a couple of things, or we would go to visit, and it just wasn't comfortable. So that's when we honestly began. You were there for about a year, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
After that, I think we began to look into something bigger, and
And a little closer to
a little
home.
closer to home too. Yeah, that's true. You were about a 45 to an hour drive from
I
home.
would no, it was an hour.
It was an hour
Yeah.
drive. So the next step from there was to move into a bigger suite and a little closer to home. So that's where we wound it up where you're at now.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I've been at this location. I think I'm about to hit
Three
my
years?
I
Four
know. I'm
four
about to hit
years?
my 4 years at
4
this
years there. Okay.
location. Yeah.
Been there quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
think I don't know, it might be time for something else.
I honestly like I love this location.
Yeah, it's a great
I
area.
my first salon suite, people were very closed off. Nobody talked to each other. Do you remember that hairstylist that was next to me?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was this hairstylist in my first salon suite, and when he came to introduce himself, he was like, "Oh, well, how long have you been in business?" And I
Yeah.
told him that I was just starting off, and he was like, "And you don't have anyone like co-renting with you?" And I was like, "No, it's just me." And he laughed, and
Yeah, he was kind of just being a jerk, just being discouraging, but
he laughed and he was like, "Good luck." And
yeah.
I was like,
I remember that day when you were explaining it to me, and we both kind of laughed about it a little bit. But from then on, it kind of gave you this drive to prove him wrong. And it was funny because you just started to get a lot of clientele. And
"Mhm."
then, you know what I mean? It kind of just showed him and then others that, all the doubters, that you're really in this for the long run, and you have been.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Being at this salon suite, I actually have a lot of friends in the industry now. I've networked with pretty much everyone in the building.
Hmm.
I love my landlord. I honestly am just very happy with where I'm at right now. And I feel like the area too is perfect
Yeah,
because I'm right off the 202, so I
right.
get a lot of people from everywhere. I mean, I have
It's
a
very accessible,
yeah, I
absolutely.
have clients coming up from up north. I've had clients from Flagstaff,
Yeah,
Sholo, um, even from a handful coming from the west side. So
definitely.
I get a little bit of everywhere being at the location that I'm at right now. So I also feel like that has also helped my business grow, especially because I grew up traveling around, or not traveling, but I grew up moving around so much and
Yeah.
living in different areas. So a lot of my clients actually are people that I did go to school with. So it's always nice being able to kind of be in the middle of everyone
Yeah.
and everyone just from different areas
And I mean, you
coming.
went from your first client. Do you remember who your first client was?
Oh, so one of my first clients, I want to say, is actually Sruti, and
Really?
she,
Shout out
yeah.
Shruti. She's still with us.
Yeah, she actually is one of my regulars that comes now.
Yeah.
So she has been and for a facial. So that was really
Yes, yeah.
exciting because I started off lashing. So um
And I remember you were a little nervous. Obviously, she was one of your first clients. Um, but just based on how, her demeanor is, we know that she wants to be looking the best, glowing obviously, and her expectations were high. So this was kind of your very first challenge, and you decided to say, "Hey, let's go ahead and give her the best experience possible." And here she is almost 4 or 5 years later, and
she's really been
yeah,
able to see like my growth
the
through it
growth
all.
for sure.
And I actually so that I bringing her up, this actually brings up a really good point in how I started Purify, because obviously starting going solo right away, right out of school, is really hard. So I did get a lot of my hands-on practice
Hmm.
from Groupon.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are like, don't do Groupon. Groupon is horrible. But to be honest, I had a love-hate relationship
Yeah, I
with
remember the Groupon
Groupon.
era. Hmm.
Yes, yes. But because I went solo, I really felt like it was something that I had to go through as a business owner, because truly I did learn a lot. I made my mistakes on my
Yeah.
Groupon clients, and some of them stuck with me, some of them didn't, but that's what I didn't feel as bad because, so if you didn't know, Groupon actually takes 50% of
Yeah.
whatever your price is. So let's say you have a facial that is $100, then they're gonna take 50% of that. So you'll get $50, and they'll get the other 50. So,
Yeah. I
um,
remember there were quite a bit of things that you obviously didn't like with Groupon, but then you also did appreciate that they did give you work. And
yeah.
you were able to practice with a lot of clients, and how you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned a lot of them did stick with you, and some of them, and those that didn't, well, you know what I mean,
I
all good.
actually, so that's where I was going with my very first client. One of my very first clients. So she was actually a Groupon client, and a lot of people say like you're only going to attract bad clients through Groupon, but I was actually able to
Yeah.
build a very good clientele base
Yeah, your
off of
repertoire was
Groupon.
awesome.
Yeah, no, but I was actually able to like get loyal clients that did value me. Like some of my best clients are actually from Groupon.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, actually some of them were a handful of them were actually doctors and
Yeah.
nurses because they actually just didn't have the time to look for a service provider. And
Yep.
so they just went to Groupon because they were looking for someone local and I was on there.
Yeah, local and
But
available.
yeah, and then so what I actually would do is I would only honor Groupon as a first client and then they had to pay full price ongoing.
I remember
So
you did have a strategy that you that definitely helped you grow and mold your business to where it's at now. Everyone has their own path. That's the path that you chose, and it definitely helped you out. So, no knock ever on Groupon. If that's the path that you decide to go with, cool. Or if you decide to join a med spa, there's always other options. But, that's the path that you chose, and it definitely took you, or it provided you with the knowledge that you have now. So I think you're more on that learning path, and that's what your focus has been on these past couple of years. I want to say, you just introduced hydrofacial not too long ago. Tell us how that went.
that was actually one of the scariest things that I
Yeah,
did for my business. And
it was definitely a big investment.
it was scary for
It
you
was a
too,
big risk, a
because
big
that was
investment, but
something.
I think it's definitely paying off for sure.
If you know, a hydrofacial machine is very similar to getting a car.
Hmm.
It's just as expensive as financing a car. So it was something that I had wanted to do since I was in aesthetic school, but
Yeah.
I knew that it was something that I couldn't get into right away. So it was something that I had my eye on.
Yeah, you definitely were
They
manifesting it for
didn't.
a couple of
They
years.
Yeah. They didn't even have
Hmm.
the Syndeo machine out. Like so, they only had two models out at the time that I really wanted to bring them on, and then they came out with this Syndeo, and that's actually the one that I have,
Yeah.
and I absolutely love
Yeah, it's awesome.
hydrofacial.
I love getting hydrofacials.
You were actually
I will
my
say,
guinea pig.
I want to say from all of this, the greatest thing out of all of this for me, right, is the fact that I get hydrofacials. I love getting hydrofacials, and I get obviously that family discount, the
he
fiance discount. So
he's the
free
guinea
99.
He's the guinea pig from it all, actually, from aesthetic
Yeah,
school, from almost everything that I bring on. The
absolutely.
products, like we have different skin types. He has more oily skin. I have dry,
Yep,
sensitive skin. So I love to test out products on
absolutely.
him.
And I love getting products tested on me.
He's actually really good with his skincare. So it was very hard in the beginning to get him used to it
Yeah.
because what would you use on your skin before?
I would use body wash, I think, on my face. I would get a loofah or, the shower sponges, put some body wash on there, wash my whole body, and then attack my face after. And I thought my skin routine was actually really good at the
Oh my.
time, if believe it or not.
So what did you use for your skincare today?
So today I actually used the Face Reality Lactic Mandelic Cleanser, and then I came back after that with what is it, the lipid?
The lipid
The
serum.
lipid serum,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Mhm.
still getting used to these names. Obviously,
That's actually one of my newer lines that I recently brought on after hydrofacial. So
Yeah,
he has a pass on that because it is a newer line. And honestly, he does use Face Reality more. I'm more the Epicutis girly. I'm the Epicutie. He's the Face Reality.
honestly, like my biggest thing is whenever I'm putting something on my face or what, I just let her know, hey, what can I follow this up with? And she's really good at, hey, you know what? Try this on the spray, the SPF, obviously, especially during the summertime, And then I obviously work in HVAC. I'm always on rooftops, so I have to make sure she's always on me in regards to the SPF. I know you're really good about that,
What
so.
SPF do you use?
I use the Face Reality SPF.
Yeah. So I actually had my first event that I went to in February. It was the aesthetic
Yeah,
experience.
with Optimized Aesthetics, right?
Yeah, uh-huh. So what was that like for you being home with the kids? Because that was my first event, and then I actually have another one coming up in Florida. So you are a very hands-on dad, and then even like when I work, so not even just like for events, but when I work, you're very hands-on with the kids. You take over a lot of stuff like with the house and the kids with the school. So what is that like for you?
And I appreciate it. Obviously, for me, it comes natural. I obviously love being with the kiddos. Your first event with Optimized Aesthetics, I just remember constantly looking at your story, seeing how often you posted a new story just so that I can catch up on it. While I was making dinner, watching the kids, putting a movie on, telling them to keep it down so that I can hear your stories.
My whole way there, I was so nervous, and he was so excited for me. He was like, "Oh, I wish I could be there. I wish I could be there, babe."
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're gonna do amazing. You're gonna meet so many amazing
Oh, yes.
people. You're gonna have so much fun. Why are you so nervous?"
Yeah.
And it honestly, like, it helped me not be so nervous because I was like, okay, I need to look at this as I am going to make
Mm-hmm.
new friends. And we actually met through mutual friends. So,
Definitely.
like, socializing with people is something that we both do,
Yeah, it
but
comes natural to her and obviously to you. And when you were telling me that you were nervous, I was like, listen, it's a bunch of girls that are just like you, that are
mhm.
interested in all the things that you are interested in. So by all means, go all out. Talk their ear off. They're gonna do exactly that because you guys all love doing what you guys do. So, being behind the scenes, I'm able to see all of that. I know that you get to experience it first or hands on, right? But I get to really see it in third person and witness how you grow. Um, and to me, it's obviously a pleasure to be with the kiddos, and I know that the kiddos get to witness your growth just as much as I do, and to them is inspirational. Um,
They get so excited. Like,
Absolutely,
they watch the podcast, they watch all of my videos that I post, and
definitely.
they ask for facials and
They definitely
Adrian.
take advantage of those services all the time. So yeah, it's great. It's great to really experience it, and I know that a lot of the responsibility regarding this business does fall a lot on your shoulders, and we don't necessarily feel that pressure, but we do appreciate experiencing that with you. Obviously, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, and
I
we know
definitely wouldn't
that.
have been able to do it without you. One thing that I feel like a lot of people are curious about is how we actually manage to raise four kids and then we both work,
Right.
because a lot of people are like, well, why don't you stay at home? Like, why don't I stay at
You know,
home, and how do we manage? So
one thing that I will say regarding that is I do give a lot of credit to our children. Our children are very good kids. We constantly get compliments on their behavior, and I know that it, in a sense, does extend to us and how we raise them. But I do give them a lot of credit. Their awesome behavior, I think it'd be a lot more difficult to be where we're
yeah,
at.
yeah.
They have a lot of patience.
It's a big part of why I actually went right into being solo, because him working in HVAC, he starts really early in the
Yeah.
morning, especially in the summers. So, and then the kids being in school, I'm able to control my schedule more
Mm-hmm.
and work around your schedule too. So, like on Wednesdays, I work late. So, go into to 9 because the kids have early release. So I will be home. I will take the kids to and from school on Wednesdays. You'll be getting home actually right around the same time that I'm getting home, and then I will be gone all night.
Yeah.
And then, but because you get off so early, like a lot of the times it just works out. You're usually home by the time that the kids get home.
Yeah, I want to say that a lot of the times when it comes to timing, it definitely does work out in our favor. And, glory be to God, because He's obviously been helping us out throughout this entire path.
Yeah,
And
it's nice because you actually start early, and then sometimes you'll make breakfast for the kids, and he'll have like breakfast and lunch going for the kids already. I'm usually the one that is getting them ready for school, and then he's home by the time that they get home from school.
it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes, balancing school, sports, the business, and then my full-time job. But
Adrian, our oldest, was actually in club soccer for a while, and that was really hard because he had games like 5 days a week sometimes, and that was...
Although it's fun to watch your kids have
not
fun.
5 days a week, but
5
like
games a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, although it's fun to watch your kiddos have fun, obviously. I mean, it can get hard, as any parent knows. It can get hard to balance that time. But, there's no time like right now to at least get this done and see how far we can get with it, and hopefully we can give them the future that we want to give them. Honestly, I think the thing that I am most proud of in regards to you and this journey is the opportunity that you have given yourself, and then the opportunity and the inspiration that you have given the kids and our family. It's not an easy task to take that jump, and take that risk and get to where you are and what you're doing. I think you definitely owe yourself a lot of credit.
Thank you. Yeah. And, thank you for always being very supportive. Like, it's definitely plays a big role in having a supportive partner and having a very supportive group at home, and just like you said, having the kids that we do. But you really have played a big role, and I'm very thankful for you helping me build Purify.
So what's something that you would tell someone who may be feeling a bit stuck based on our experience?
You don't need to have everything figured out. We didn't have everything figured out. I truly believe that there is never a right time, so just go for it. Faith comes with confidence.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just never know God's timing.
Yeah, and you really just have to just
have faith.
If you don't put yourself out there and just go for it, you'll honestly never know, and you'll beat yourself up. So just go for it. And
take the risk.
That's what I would recommend anyone who feels stuck, who wants to start a business. There's truly never a wrong time. There's never a right time, and you just got to go for it.
Absolutely.
So I like to end every episode with a question. What are you purifying this season in your life?
To be honest, there's quite a couple things I do want to purify, but I think the main thing that I want to purify is just kind of purifying myself from within, just to be a better partner, a better father, a better role model. That's mainly the main focus, right? Being a better role model to my children, and I want them to obviously grow up and look at not just myself, but you too, as like, hey, we had some really dedicated parents, at the end of the day.
I love that. I love that. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I can't wait to come out with my next episode. I already have a special guest, another guest coming on. So we are getting the guests rolling in. I am so excited to get this really taking off. So
absolutely.
Our next episode, stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on that next episode.
Subscribe and like, you guys.
Yes. Thank you guys so much.